Systems by substitution. After watching this video, I will be able to solve a system using the method of substitution and by isolating a variable. In our first lesson, we had two equations where one of the equations had an isolated variable. And that basically means that the variable, either x or y, was on one side of the equal sign and everything else was on the other side. In this case, we do not have an isolated variable, so we have an extra step. We have to isolate a variable, and the easiest way to do that is to identify which equation and which letter would be the easiest to isolate. So if you have an equation where a letter or variable is all by itself, meaning it's not being multiplied by any number, that would be the easiest variable to solve for. So in our example, in my first equation, y has no number attached to it. It's not being multiplied by anything. So this equation will be the easiest to solve for the letter y. So negative 2x plus y equals 1. I want the letter y to stay by itself, so I need to move everything else to the other side. And I can do that by doing the opposite operation. So because this says negative 2x, I can add 2x, and what you do on one side, you do on the other. Bring down the y. Because there are no like terms, all you do is write what you see, 1 plus 2x. So now I have an isolated equation, and my system now repeats the same steps that we were doing before. I go into my second equation, and everywhere I see the letter y, I will replace it with 1 plus 2x. So I have 8x plus 5, but now I will write 1 plus 2x equals negative 13. Then you want to distribute. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Bring along the x, and then everything else stays the same. So we just bring it down. Then we want to combine like terms. So 8 plus 10 is 18. X plus 5 equals negative 13. Subtract 5 on both sides. 18x is going to equal negative 18. And then divide both sides by 18. X will equal negative 1. And then remember, once you have x equal to a number, you have to go and find y. So we'll go back to the very beginning where we isolated our equation, and we will say y is equal to 1 plus 2, and instead of writing x, we know that the value of x is now negative 1. Order of operations. So I'll multiply 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. And then 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Remember to write your answer as an ordered pair. Now you try. You want to find the solution to the system of equations using substitution. You first have to isolate a variable. In this case, it would be easier to try and isolate the letter x from the second equation first.